Okay. 8 a.m. Let's see how many people are there online. Yes, only one person. Let's say now as usual. So the after we will shall engage for about 5 or 6 minutes. Right? I don't know if people don't work on time. It is the first thing issue. Although like it's on time. And this is a country where we do everything on auspicious time. Isn't it? We get married on auspicious time. We make some kind of documents for newborns. Maybe born. And a lot of other things now we are going to construct a home, we look at it from auspicious time. But the surprising thing is we never do this on time. So maybe we have to make the class opening time for the class starting time and auspicious time. And if we are the official students graph or something, until these auspicious time. So very surprising. Yes, there is a chance to and I extended the deadline as well. So, what was the deadline? I mistook you to someone else.
I watched the video and
later on, I rectified it. I corrected it.
That is my friend visiting next to me.
So that's how it is. Even last week, I had that. So extended it and I thought, okay, let's go for the right. And today is going to be the last day, and I will tell you about the paper structure of even last week I gave you some tips on that. Today also I will take some. I need to discuss the important topic that's the qualitative research as well as a lot of research methodology. Then a little bit of digital business strategy. The favorite. So what the nature of data and which I'm going to show you some past papers and answer discussion. That will tell what is expected under this question. Right? So we'll have that. So we'll wait for it until 5 minutes. Right? And see whether people come. And if they do come, we'll start it completely. Because today we have after 3 p.m. we have the discussion time. So we have full time, but again, we use the time effectively and efficiently. The most important one. We have the entire topic to be covered as qualitative research. Okay, and what more importantly, that's related to the reference. I saw several errors when I went through your literature review. I saw several errors. So I thought you knew about power reference. But maybe you have done it. Maybe that was a general observation. But I saw several errors. So I'm therefore going to take some time to explain to you how to refer properly. So if you, it's not a difficult task, but you have to know how to. We might take an example and understand where things are going wrong. And I will explain that as well. Because referencing is very, very important because it helps us to tell from whom we have got this information on the text. And there are 2 ways that we can refer this work and teach what I could do all that at the beginning of this thing before. Reference. The reference is important in all aspects, isn't it? But I was surprised to see so many errors. Because I'm going to now your price was so many. I was quite very surprised why they kind of okay. And then we take one person's dictionary as an example and try to identify a randomly selected number and try to identify where it went wrong. Okay, so today's going to be a reaction-packed day with a lot of information that's going to be helpful. Always going to be the last day as well. Right. So We'll wait for another 5 minutes and at 8:50. The timing, if you really want, you can download this how referencing is there. So you can see how referencing under section 13, you can download it. And I'm going to show you this. Because when I get through the literature in submission there, I'm not going through that. It was a kind of a disaster. Let's take randomly someone. I don't do random thread. I don't look at the names. I just will take this. So you saw that I took it random thread. But the name is not. Oh. The name is not allowed. Oh. I think much problem. Please, I don't see much here. Oh. Anyway. Relatively a low number of errors in constant. These errors small issue. We look at these issues and I'll tell you how to rectify them. Because this is the place where you can find out the issues. So we will try to understand first the theory, then we'll take randomly again. This one is good in fact. So less number of index reference errors, but some people might ask, do disaster. Don't worry, that's what I'm going to teach you. So at least we can get it correctly done in our final submission, final proposal, which is due when? Tomorrow. So I extended one whole week. So yes, my students are being prepared. Okay. I will wait for another 5 minutes and I'm going to use this our reference guide. So we'll take someone else's one also as a random, like I'm not looking at anyone, like just random selected already. So another one. Seconds. Person also has done the meeting from here. reference is there as well. But don't worry. And my goodness, the references are not enough. Yeah, minimum standard met, but they are expected. Okay. But we discuss how to make profile. So that we use. So there is. There under dictionary there is our referencing guide. So you can download it and you can open it. And I'm going to teach you and important points over there. You can go to 30 and download. Actually, it's a shortcut, but shortcut completes you by distance in the university. I have to give you a word of caution. When it comes to Harvard referencing, there are different versions. Harvard different versions. Now, like Microsoft Word has different versions. You have 365. And likewise, in the versions differ. Even in Windows, we have 95, and Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 7, likewise. So you can see there are differences in these versions. All those Windows, the Windows version differ. Likewise, when it comes to Harvard referencing, there are differences. Now, Windows, there are worse versions, but in Harvard, of course, we need to adhere to one set of guidelines. So that's what I'm going to teach you at the beginning. To itself, you can take some refresh. You can absorb that very well. So, not to make any mistakes after this. Right? So, what's this reference? First of all, we have to understand why we need reference. Right? Why do we need reference? So, referencing means what? First of all, good one. What's reference? Very big 17-page short guide, so it's a very small guide. And this is, and you might say, so in Microsoft Word, we have our reference. Microsoft Word goes automatically, it will put the reference if you want. You can maintain the references in Microsoft Word, but never use it. Right? The referencing style that it has Harvard referencing, and the referencing style that I'm proposing might be different. It's not the same. So therefore, my expectation is don't depend on what software yet. Maybe when you are doing your PhD, right, then you can depend on the software. Of course, please depend on the software. There are very good software for that, not only Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word, there is inbuilt keeps a code reference. They can maintain references electronically. But the problem is the referencing style that it calls itself Harvard and what we teach here might be different. It's not the same. That's the problem. Therefore, my request to you is don't depend on software. Don't depend on software. Why? If you depend on the software, you will be dependent. You don't know, you will never learn the rules of reference. This is why the software is it's like some now the children are using ChatGPT. I don't see anything wrong in using ChatGPT for ethical purposes, but it does a great harm. What's that? It makes us foolish. It lowers our IQ. Why? We don't get to think. We put the ChatGPT, we get the answers, that's it. So it makes us foolish. That's the problem. So my prediction is that in time to come, we have foolish young generation who cannot think for themselves. So same thing in reference. You have to first understand and manual revision. Once you are good in that, you can think use any software. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Use one of the software. There is different kind of software. That's fine, but again, at the beginning stage, when you are doing your first proposal like this, it's not advisable to use any software. Because why? The guidelines they will never learn. You will depend on the software, always will be dependent on the software. Now, I think you know when a child starts cycling, what you do? And for the other cycle, you start the roll the digger, or roll the digger, what you do? You put another tool. So it won't fall, child won't fall. But I would have it be forever. You have to do those. But if you are going to use the software for referencing from the beginning itself, you will always will have to have those two speeds, even if you are 50 years old. That's not going on. But once you learn it, of course, after that, use the software. So it will automatically do that. But you have to make sure that it adheres to the guidelines that you are given. Because our guidelines differ from institution to institution. Our guidelines are different. There are subtle differences in different versions. Now, here we are using, right, Western City University, our referencing style. Yes. Now, at Jawaharlal, I teach them the Central Queensland University, our referencing guides. But in your institution for SAB, the guideline that's approved is this one. Our guide, that's correct. But from Western City University, there are subtle changes. That is it. So if you have not followed that, you can follow. But it takes a little bit of time to gain insight of it, but then we see some errors. Maybe you can take your own assignment and you can we can display that, and you can I'll ask you to identify what are the errors after this. Right. Okay. I think my time is start, but give enough time to take part. And as I was told, some students are having stroke counts, isn't it? Perfectly understood. So, first of all, if I ask you this question, why do we need reference? Why? Do we need reference? Why? Yes, because we are going to take others' words and others' ideas and we are going to put into our proposal, result report, isn't it? Particularly one chapter or one section, that's the most important part that we are going to do. What's that section? Literature review. In literature review, we put others' ideas, others' words. So why do we need to refer that? Why do we need to tell that we have taken it from someone else? Because we are accused of what? Plagiarism. If we take someone's ideas or words and represent it as ours without acknowledgement, with acknowledgement, there's no problem. That's called what? Plagiarism. Not acknowledging others' ideas or words. That's called plagiarism. In academic world, it's a dangerous practice. Right now, normal world. If someone kills a person in first degree, what happens? Usually, that person will get capital punishment. Right? In Sri Lanka, although it's not exercised, that person will be hanged till that person dies. Although it's not exercised. Oh, to be fair. Fortunate to some people, but unfortunate to us. Now they have a new system there, but not in Sri Lanka, but in other countries. But they are asking the criminals to show weapons that are in. And the capital punishment immediately given to those guys. Not in Sri Lanka, but in some other countries. Right. Now, as a person kills other person unreasonably in first degree and takes the life of another person, the capital punishment should be given. If a student or someone takes others' ideas or words and represents without acknowledgement, that's also considered an academic crime. That should be given capital punishment. So it's same as murdering a person. One of them. Taking others' ideas and words I'm putting the clipboard, then changing that, and putting that is wrong. Paraphrasing is something else. Paraphrasing is something else. We'll repeat that as well. Paraphrasing is fine, but you have to give the acknowledgement from where you have taken. That's so words and ideas both should be acknowledged. So that's what it says. Then you have to use more reference. So that's what it says. Read. Referencing acknowledge the sources that you use to write your essay for assignment pay. So each year you acknowledge from whom you have taken this idea or the word. Is it here? Or targeted? Here you understand a couple plagiarism but so that's what it is. Please see the section of this guide regarding intellectual honesty and plagiarism. That's the next one. So that's why if you don't do that, you are not an honest person and you are engaging in plagiarism. So then we have two kinds of references. You can, when it comes to referencing in your proposal or in your literature review or whatever document, there are two kinds of references that you need. One is called in-text reference. The other one is called end-list reference. What are those? In-text references and end-list references. What are those? So let's come to in-text reference. So references. In-text. End-list. There are two kinds of reference. In-text, end-list. What do you mean by this? If you take a thesis, now. What those versions unlike this. Yeah. Right. අපි online transfer එකක් ගහමු. පේනවා. සේනාරත්න පුතා මේ බෝඩ් එක පේනව නේද?
ඔව් සර් පේනවා.
දැන් මේ පේනවා. iPhone එක පේනවා කියලා බලන්න. පේනව නේද?
ඔව් සර් පේනවා.
Thank you, Sir. Thank you. Okay, now let's see first of all what is meant by in-text reference. So let me in-text. When you write your chapters or sections of your proposal, you have different sections. What are the sections in your proposal? You have the introduction, then what? Objectives, justification, like the different sections are there. Now in your research report, you have got chapters. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5, isn't it? So if you these, let's say, let's call these chapters. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, likewise you can have chapters. But you have 5 chapters. And chapter 5. If you are going to put a reference, okay. If you are going to put a reference within these chapters, within the document, that's called in-text reference. If you are going to put within these ones, within the chapters, we call that in-text. In-text means at the end, you are going to have a reference list. Isn't it? You have a reference list that's called end list reference. Index, and then we have end list. This is called end list reference. So you have to understand those two. Understood? Index means within the chapters, within the section of your proposal or maybe your research report. Index. End list means which is at the end. References. So you will have a full reference. So usually what you do is the index reference is a short reference. You put the author's surname and the year of publication. Now, say if I had published an article in 2023, my surname is Ajwal, so I say Ajwal 2023. So here I'll give a short reference in text. Ajwal 2023. So I give the surname only and the year of publication. Do you put any initials? No. In some cases, I see some students have put initials. That's wrong. Initials can't be. Now, my initials are I got here. Can I put here? No. Within the text? No. It's only the surname and the year of publication. That's all. Understood? But in the English reference, you have to put the whole thing. But you are going to say the name, the initials, the year of publication, the name of the book, the publisher, the location of publication, a lot of other information will be there at the end of this reference. But some students mistakenly they have put the initials in text. Is that correct? No initials. And you could say I got AR. Got AR, no. There's something called et al. Or we pronounce it as et al. Or an others. I'll come to link it later. What's that? Et al. Okay. Now, when it comes to this in-text reference, that's within the chapters or within the sections of the thesis or your research report, right? And then reference list is where we call it end-list reference. When it comes to in-text references, there are two other kinds as well. What in-text references has two other kinds. Let me go back to. When it comes to in-text references, there are two other kinds. What are the two other kinds? In-text reference, like in-text text chapter section references short references. These are short references we did it. So these are short references in text, short. So these are long. And this reference is long reference, you give the entire reference. Sambhurna reference is there. Right? The heavy reference, where you over the information in the reference. Now the question comes. What are the two kinds of in-text reference? Short. There are two kinds. One is called what? Author prominent. Author prominent. Anybody else? Author prominent. The other one is called information prominent. What is the other? That's what I know. Information prominent. These are the two kinds of in-text references. Author prominent guy, information. We'll see with examples. What's author prominent? Author prominent author reference. Ultra 2023 indicated that X leads to Y. We started with load Ultra 2023. Or you can make either, you can put the information first. X leads to Y. Within brackets, Ultra 2023. So you put the information first and put the reference setting. That's called what? Information first. Because that's information as to your problems. Or the problem means you put the O there. Let me give you an example. If I go to your guide, you can see here. Is that kind of honesty and integrity? Yes, if you don't use the references, you are accused of being dishonest. And honesty. That's an important point that you have to keep in mind. That you are going to be in trouble. Activity मतलब highlight करना, what is the name of it? Highlight करना. One of the activity is to experience. Digital business strategy is very nice. And from the mind of we had our good for then I can highlight things. Maybe reason for why and reason. Maybe so how okay. How okay. Build also. Download करते हैं निकलना. एक मिनट. Desktop पे गिरा है. Now let's check over this. So H. I know okay. I know okay. But here I think you can now highlight. Okay. Now so that's what actually the first sentence is very important to acknowledge who had told certain things or whose idea is that you need to refer. So you can highlight. One of the highlighting things. To acknowledge the source, you need to. So that's the main idea. This with honesty and plagiarism, yes, you have to maintain always academic honesty. At Western University, plagiarism fall within the framework of student misconduct. Indeed, at SAB, it's also considered as a student misconduct. Right? If we see, so there is the notion that if you had engaged in plagiarism, you are not acknowledged that, usually you will receive 0 marks for that assignment. 0. Sometimes, not only your assignments will be rejected, you will be completely, even if you take 100 marks for your written paper, it will all be made. Sometimes, you will be expelled from the entire program. Some programs that way. The integrity is taken as, but here, so what they usually do is, we make this happen. Because the assignment cannot be the you are not going to make your entire subject 0. We are not going to expel you from the program, but we are going to make this assignment 0. So that's the usual policy that's taken. But it might depend on the lecturer to lecture. There are minimum, some people are giving minimum, but penalties, some people will give the maximum. Right. So academic honesty and plagiarism should be always maintained. Honesty should be maintained, plagiarism should be avoided. 1, 2, 3 terms that we have always keeping up. Academic honesty. Extraordinary. And what is the identity? Yes. Blue color lips. Academic honesty and two very important points. Right. Now it's coming to the in-text referencing, which I was telling you. Now look at this. Now what's in-text reference? In-text citation, in-text reference is the same thing. Within the chapters, within the section, in-text. Then at least your reference. I told you in-text has two variants. What are the two variants? Both are prominent and information. Let's look at an example. Now look at this one. Highlight we did an experiment. The experiment failed. So we go to review our right. Communication. Highlight the responsibility is very big. Okay, that is program. Again. Okay. So we shall come into the author prominent as well as information prominent. Now look at this. Muller 2006 conducted research into the effect of what's that? Is it author prominent or information prominent? Author prominent or information prominent? Author prominent. Why author prominent? Using stars. The same thing could be written as the research conclusively proved correlation between the results. Muller 2006. What's that? What's that? What's that? That's information from it. Because why? You give first the information, then know that. So that's why you call information. So what's correct? Both the promises are information from it. What's correct? Both are correct. And what you should use both in the same paragraph. So we give you use karana. I can use karana. It's a lower formula. Karana. I take information from it. Right? Introduce variety. Not it will be very monotonous. Always will be like what? Author and the information. Author and the information. Author and the information. Right? Once in a while, put the information and the author after. What you need to do is you have to acknowledge from where this information comes. It's not to accuse of what? You accuse of what? Dangerous academic crime. First step, legitimacy. Taking others' ideas and words without acknowledgement is plagiarism. That's all. Right. So now I think you got an idea. Up to now we discussed what's referencing, acknowledging others' works and ideas. Right. Your text is not known as referencing. Then I told you that there are two kinds of references when it comes to a text, in text and in these references. Then I also told you when it comes to in text references, there are two kinds of references. What are those? Information formula and author formula. Is that clear? Referencing is not difficult. Very interesting. More to come. Now we have reference community reference for the theory. I thought you were knowing this. That's why I did not teach you. How many of you are unknown? What are you? Now, so I did more. I was reading your literature review. My goodness. We got a central season university. Then we got Western Sydney. Western Sydney. We for a reaction of all the once a Lanka. Lanka, World Trade Center I saw several mistakes, but I thought that you had an idea about it. But again, why? You have timed it to make certain rectifications on the references. Right. So that's called author prominent and information prominent. Both are fine, and you can use both without an issue. Without an issue. Right. Quotation. Quotation. When you want to take someone else's ideas and words and put that into your thesis, into your proposals, into your literature review, there are two ways to do it. But what are the two ways? Take a while. It's too but slow. Maybe the machine might be too slow. I don't know, but it did not work for me. Maybe we can take. Right now we know what's referencing in text and list. And now let's go to a new page and write down methods. Of reflecting this data, methods of reflecting your words, ideas. Not your, in fact. Yes. Unrooted, to the How Someone will have accident to the answer. Not your words, actually, it's others' words. Others' words, ideas in your context. Methods of reflecting. Methods, they are tailored to the action. If you want to reflect someone else's ideas or words in your own words, there are two methods. What are those? One method is called paraphrasing. One method is called paraphrasing. Paraphrasing. The other one is called quotations. Quotation. Quotation. Two methods to do this. One is called paraphrasing. The other one is called quotation. Quotation. When it comes to paraphrasing, means what? Take the other's words and express that in your own words. That's called paraphrasing. So you are not telling that in your own words. You need to give the reference in that case. We tell that in our own words. Do we need to give the reference? Indeed, yes. Why? Because it's other person's idea, not our idea. So even though it's your own words, but you are telling other side. So therefore, use the reference. Always you have to use the reference if it is others' ideas. Always. Then quotations. What is the quotation? You take exactly as it is what the other person has told. The text that's called quotation. There are two kinds of quotation. What are the two kinds of quotation? This your final year in the university. You should tell me, sir, you because the first year the next year money. So this should have been taught in the first year you are teaching us. These are first year stuff that we know all this. What are the two types of quotation? The two types of quotations. One is called long quotations, the other one is called short quotations. I teach you all these things. So today the idea is to give you an idea of reference. Quotations, long, short. How to decide? Now quoting means you take as it is from others and put that in your text. I shall not do that for them. But you have to understand there are long quotations and short quotations. How to decide whether something is long and what is something short? By number of words. If it is less than 30 words that you are taking as the text from someone else, less than, that's called short quotation. If it is more than 30 words, that's called long quotations. Long. The number of words. More than 10. It's less than 10. Right? Less than 30 or more than 30. 30 or less. Let's call it short quotation. Right. Short and long. We'll see now with examples. Before that. Now I'm telling you how to represent others' ideas in your own proposal, in your own literature review. I told you that there are two methods. What are two methods? Paraphrasing and quotation. But there's a rule for this. I can't do that in later. What's easy by doing out of this? Quotation. Because you take as it is and put that in your text. But there's a rule, like generally in academic circles, in your text, there cannot be more than 10% quoted text. Even after giving proper references. Reference dealer, quoted text is the reference. You should not have more than 10% quoted text. Because if it is quoted, then it's not your work, isn't it? You have to paraphrase. That's the recommended method. Paraphrase. Of course, there are paraphrasing tools as well. You know better than me. Right. First, let's see what's this paraphrasing. Now you can see the short reference. Again, let me go to the short reference. Right. See. Short reference. Yeah. And can you see that there's a comma here? Modern 2006, comma pen. So never put a comma. Information prominent parallel. Paranatural reference down comma down. Comma down the part. Don't put comma then dala chirana. Then. Reference දෙකක් තියෙනවා අන්න දා. ඒ උදාහරණයක් කිව්වොත් මේ. Then Mulan 2006 you don't put the comma here, right? Don't put comma. Now let's take an example of the Kalika example like now. We don't want to literature everything of power. But literature. We now ignore Karachi. Normally better than can and particle. Hey, come on. This come on. Remember, after the surname, there is no comma. So that's all. Whether come out here, showing et al. Et al means and others. I'll teach you what's et al repeat here. Comma. Is there a comma? No. That's wrong. Under this version of the Harvard style, what to an Ekega version Harvard style here again. And here, sir, first take it away to the again. Come on, done. First year, right? Find it. So I know that you have the find it here. This is my point in this year. In your general degree, this is a find it, right? So in this year, this is what you have to follow. This is the approved guideline by this is for your research proposals and research. So no comma please. Parameter comma. Right. You can see that there are mistakes when you go here. Just Roberts 2010 Hurricane. Roberts 2010 Hurricane. So that also I just highlighted. Now let's come back to our whiteboard. Paraphrasing. I told you if you want to take someone else's ideas and words and put them in your proposal, you have two options to do that. What are the two options? One is paraphrasing, the other one is called what? Direct quote. Most preferred one is what? Paraphrase. Paraphrasing means what? You tell others ideas in your own words. Others' words in your own words. Now let's say A in 2023 in his book wrote like this. It is corporate governance leads to better corporate performance. He wrote this in 2003. Right? His book wrote this in 2003. But you are going to paraphrase this and include that in your own text. Let's say you are doing about corporate governance research and your own proposal, your own literature review, how to put this. I told you that you have two options to do this. What are the two options? Put this as a quotation or paraphrase this. How to paraphrase this? How to paraphrase? You can do it in different ways. Now, this is your own text, right? Own text. This is your own Tamil text. Go with it. You write like. You cannot write the same thing. Direct quote there. Oh, there we are. Better performance is associated with, is positively associated higher corporate governance levels. Are they basically the example? Whatever. You have to do the citation, you have to do the reference. But these my words, yeah, I'm telling. But they don't reference it. Oh, hey, idea. A. In A. Kumagana. A. I put a full stop. This is what you need to do. Paraphrase. Then they will AI tools. What they are doing that is to paraphrase? Not here. What the Janapriya rule? What's the most common tool that you can use for this? Paraphrasing. QuickBooks. But you can use QuickBooks. Is that wrong? No. You take others' text without acknowledgement, then that's wrong. Right. So let's say. Okay. Let's say 5. Is 5 good or bad? Either of the are. People set fire on homes. Either on the left. So these are carnival. Like it depends on for what you use the tool. Billboard is not bad. Air tools are not bad. Thing you use is the problem. You use for bad purpose. You take someone else's thesis and takes other research and put to billboard and change it and put that and represent as yours without acknowledgement. Then that's being dishonest. But for paraphrasing, why do you use this? So we'll now use billboard and see how this will paraphrase. What was the original text? Corporate downs leads to better corporate performance. Now let's ask people to do that. To premium on there, then the normal. What was the original text? What was the original text? Corporate governance leads to better corporate performance. You can type or you can, I should have typed that. Okay, you understand it. And let's make a bit more here. Maximum. Read this. Open that practical corporate parts. Okay. It paraphrase. What's wrong with this? Nothing is wrong. But what's the but? You need to acknowledge A 2023. Because A 2023 is the person who told this one. That's why our students fail. Not you, it's our other. Right. So yes, paraphrasing is a tool. Then in that case, if someone might say, no, you have no English grammar, spellings and everything. So you can even use what? Grammar. Grammar use can. So this is called proofreading. You can even pay to a proofreader and get your English corrected. Those days, that's what people are doing. Now, do we need to do that? You have AI tools to do that. But use it for data source. The correct one. Like I told you, is fire good or bad? It depends on for what to use there. To burn a house or to cook your breakfast. Cooking a breakfast is perfectly okay. But if you're going to burn someone's house, then that's not good. Billboard is a good tool to paraphrase. So therefore, what I'm trying to tell is, you have now two options. One is paraphrase, which I did using my brain. You can use some, but you have to read what Billboard gives. Sometimes Billboard gives total nonsense. Somewhere they know Billboard taking some tools and Galle. So you have to read and understand whether that's what you want. That's what the original author had told. And don't forget to give what? The reference, the citation. This one. That means you have engaged in legacy. Taking others' ideas and words. Amounts to legacy. If you have taken the idea of someone else and expressed as you go on without acknowledgement, that's legacy. With acknowledgement, that's called citation. Subtle difference, but major difference, major impact. Is that clear? Now we are here. Citation. But citation or reference is a must when we take others' ideas or words and put that into our own. Then I told you that there are two kinds of citations or references. What are the two kinds? In-text references and edge references. Then when it comes to in-text references, I told you that there are two kinds again. What are the two kinds? Author prominent and information prominent. What's the difference? You put the author at the beginning for author prominent. You put the information at the beginning and put the authors at the end in brackets. That's called what? Information prominent. What's correct? Both are correct. And use that interchangeably in the same paragraph, same topic. And when it comes to taking others' ideas and words and putting that in your text, I told you that there are two main methods. What are the two main methods? Either you can paraphrase that, or you can do direct quotations. Then I told you when it comes to direct quotations, now I come to that after paraphrasing. When it comes to direct quotations, there are what? Two kinds of direct quotations. What are those? Short quotations and long quotations. How to decide whether something is short or long? Words. If it is less than 30 words, what's that? Short quotation. More than 30 or less, more than 30, right? 31 and more, then that more. That's what? Long quotation. I'll now get the rules for that. But before that, paraphrase. Paraphrase means what? You take others' ideas and express in your own words with acknowledgement. With acknowledgement, and even you can use tools like Billboard as I demonstrated. That's only a tool. Like fire, or what fire you use depends on whether it's okay or not to use that. Even you can ask ChatGPT to paraphrase. You can go to ChatGPT and you can say, put the first write down paraphrase, put a colon and write the sentence. It will paraphrase. Billboard will do a much more better job, as my experience indicates. ChatGPT, Billboard, and other tools are not bad. You have to know what you are saying. Right? And also try to first use your mind. Not your mind will never learn. Fortunately, at our time, this thing was not there. Billboard was not there. ChatGPT was not there. So we used our brain. When you use only something, it gets better. You exercise your hand, you get good muscles. If you keep it at one position, it will take. Same thing for your brain. You use your brain, it works fine. If you don't use your brain, it will teach you. Same as our it's a muscle. Unfortunately, now we are using Billboard and not Billboard, ChatGPT. Oh, not necessary for. One is they are very lazy. They quickly go to ChatGPT and try to get everything done. Then what happens is, in future, their brains will be tiny, accumulated brains. They might not be able to do it. As educators, we find that we take problem. Fortunately, you have, you have come, some journey up to now, and we have come a great journey up to now. So that's why we are fortunate, but this younger generation is they are too much dependent on there. Right. What to do? So that we'll have to overthink a solution later. Let's leave it to someone else to decide what the solution. So now we know where we are. Paraphrases and direct quotes. Right. And the easiest thing is to take it as quotation, but there's a limit. What's the limit? 10%. 10%. If you have 100 words, let's say in your text, if you have 100 words, there can be more than 10 words as what? Direct quoted text. Even giving the reference. Reference dila. Right? Vachana siya kiwala. Vachana dahin kawala diya direct quoted. What is the corrupt phrase, corrupt phrase, corrupt phrase, corrupt phrase. That's what you mean. The rules are there. Corrupt phrase, that is that one. We did not but I encourage you, if you want to increase your brain power, if you want to increase your language ability, you start. Go on brain first and try to do it by yourself, and maybe later on you can do, or you can go to C and maybe but try first. That will expand your vocabulary, that will expand your articulation, that will expand your language ability. Yes. Right. Now let's go back again to our text. Now let's see how to direct quote. Direct quotation. Direct quotation. Get this very clear. I'm going to show you a short quotation. Short quote. How to design short quote? No. What's the number of words? Now read this. If you directly quote fewer than 30 words, enclose the quotation in single quotation marks. In Harvard quotation, do you use double quotes? No. You use single quotes. See, a statistical anomaly. It's a quoted text. How many words are there? So, these prepositions 1, 2, 3. What is 3? Is 3 less than 30? Digits. So that's called single quote. That's a short form. Always put a single quotation mark. Now I usually keep references. I keep this quotation for definitions. Definitions now in the literature you have to give definitions with it. So I usually keep the definitions as false. Because the number of words it is long or short we can. So you can see if it is a short quotation, you have to put the quoted text within what? Single quotation, not double quotation. About double quotation mark. Don't choose that. 166 and 99 that you get. Right. So yes, you can see is there, is there. Single quotation. The quoted text. Short quote. And always give the page number. If you are giving a quoted text with a short or long, give the page number. In the original text. Okay, the article page number and quoted text. So if you directly quote fewer than 30 words, enclose the quotation in single quotation marks within the text. So your publication or work along with the page number should be provided in parentheses. So in Mullen 2006, earlier it was just Mullen 2006, now it's Mullen 2006, comma. Now there's a comma. P dot 180. P dot, there's no space. You can see 180. That's how you give a proper short quotation. Short quotation period. PTT and the page number at NASA. Integer. No. End of T. Not which. Then now let's see a long quotation. Long quotation more than 30 words. See. So these are the rules. If the quotation is greater than 30 words, it should be displayed in double spaced, not double quotation, double spaced, indented block, 1.3 centimeters. I'll ask 1 by 1.3. So why is not 1.4? So why is not 1.5? 1.3 without quotation marks, without quotation. If it is a long quotation, you don't put quotation marks. Single or double? No. I'll show you an example. It should be introduced in all words. This is a quoted text. Long quotation. For an example, it was stated that. That's your words. Then put a folder and then put the quoted text. Full block. Make them full block here. It says 1.3 centimeters. You have to block this from this margin. 1.3 centimeters. Why 1.3 centimeters? Why not 1.4 centimeters? Why not 1.25 centimeters? What is the significance of 1.3 centimeters? Can someone guess? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. A good guess. It's half an inch. Another target 1.3. That's 1.3. But you have a full block this. Full block karana. When සම්පූර්ණ එක පටන් ගන්නවනේ වෙන full block එකක් විදියට. Right? Full block, fully indented. You call it fully indented. And this is the quoted text. Right? And it should be double spaced. Usually text is not spaced. Samani line spacing here. 1.5. Usually your line spacing is 1.5. 12 times the movement is your academic font. Here you can use this 12 times 0, there is no problem, but it has to be quoted text should be what? Double space. Your line spacing should be 2. Not 1.5. These are rules that you should have been taught in the first year. First year. First year, what is the theory? And also at the end, give the reference. Do you need to give the page number? Yes. Because why? It's a direct quotation. You see? Mullen 2006, there is no comma here, but after this 2006, there is a comma. Page number 66, P.66, there is no space after the. Close brackets and put a full stop. One that no some that current. With a full stop dala, process full stop dala, make it convenient, like a variable. You have to put the reference, and after that, you have to put the full stop. So that's what you have to do. The balance is coming with direct quotes for the developing. Single quotes currently, that's time. More quotations start, short quotations start to be developing. Make it a quotation mark data. Long quotation and quotation mark data. Are you putting quotation marks? Never. That's why you fully block and put double credits on the person who reads your text would know that it's a quoted text. Examples, you have to understand. If you have applied, till things are going to be changed. in your proposal, in your assignments, and everywhere it should have been applied. From your first year, say, the first year, how? It's a range of applied. Head assignment technology, it is medium level, your proposal. With that proposal, apply this. After this, I teach you how to use the long reference or the end list reference. The reference list, how to write it, I teach you. Any questions so far? Is it clear? Is this difficult? No. It's a set of rules. Do you need to remember this? No. Just apply it. At the exam, there might be a question on I will give something that's messed up, erroneously written, and I'll ask you to identify the errors and ask the correct question. Let me show you a question. How it's going to be tested at the exam. Okay. Then let's come to the reference list. So we'll break that after that. So you have a reference, break a comment, now it's 9:23, comment 9:45. You know, 9:45 is it's a 9:45 stage. So we'll read at 9:45 and we'll discuss the references. Rules of reference list, it was very clear. The single of course. That's about reference list examples. I'm going to show example. Here we need to explain. Book එක දාන විදියට explain කරනවා. Then someone reference list කරනවා නම් වෙන දැන් some other than I'm just taking them as examples to show you what kind of mistakes people might have made. Once you know that, maybe it's due to ignorance that you have not followed, but we'll do. And after that, we'll then start a major topic that's the qualitative research. So today we have a lot of things to do. So how will I discuss currently? So please have a small break and come back. We'll meet at 9:45. A research paper and a thesis. A research paper is just a paper. That's only put an article. Maybe it has only 18 pages. Now, for your example, you key article that was a it's a research article. You can call it a research paper. But a thesis or a dissertation, that's same. The American and British chemical difference is a huge what? Thesis. It has 5 chapters. So you have chapters. In an article or research paper, you might not have what? Chapters. In sections. You even wouldn't name that section, you will say introduction, literature review, methodology, discussion, and findings and discussion, and conclusion. But there in the thesis, you have what? The chapters. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and it's huge. It's not 18 pages, usually it's more than 50 pages. And even 350 pages if you are writing a PhD. So, very good question. So, both are research work, but the scope is different. In a research paper, it's a kind of a summary. In a research thesis or kind of dissertation, it's very lengthy and it's very detailed. That's it. Good question. Okay, so we'll have a small break and return at 9:45 or 9:50. Okay. Yeah, you do. Hello, my head. Which I? How do you do? Oh, I ate this. Question 5, question 6, 7. Yeah. Hey, continue, no? So let's go and see the way. So we continue and we see. Oh, no. No. Going to get it. So those were fantastic. Market because I think typically cocaine were not unable to market. So I think online partners were there. So the typical students who came to this market, this scholastic test. Right. So let's It's now what's the reference? I think now we have a good idea. Now, in case if you have two references, as entered, what to do? You can see here, Sanders 2008 and semicolon. It's not colon, it's semicolon. Right. Sanders, semicolon, and Smith 2009. So, two references in the same paragraph. Yes. Now, let's go and see our students what they have done. I did not see two references given. What were one reference? In all cases, it's one reference. Good. There's only one reference. Unfortunately, that's it. Now here what has happened? Oh. Here what's the error in this reference? What's the wrong here in this reference? Wrong with this reference. Carol A. Answer 2008. One will be the wrong reference here. Is it page number 10, right? It will be page number 10. What's wrong with this? But the reference error. Carol A. Answer 2008. Can you see that? I will be in the page on this. Carol A. Answer 2008. What's wrong with that reference? Not mentioning the reference separately in the same paragraph. What's wrong? Yes, thank you for your efforts. Exactly. Only the surname should be. Answer 2008. And can you enter the comma? The comma. The guidelines need to be understood in the morning. Commas are not allowed. Okay, right. Only the page number, or let's say it's come from page number 2008, page number 6, then comma T.6 is allowed. Unless otherwise it's wrong. Right. So likewise, look at your own work in the morning. I give you all the rules that should be applied even after this. I'm giving that. Right. Then again, let's go to our reference chart. Now let's come to the reference list. I told you that there's what? Index reference as well as end-list reference. End-list reference is where we have at the end, we have the reference. Now let's see what are the rules. For references includes details of the sources, references, and it has to be alphabetically ordered based on the surname of the first author. Surname of the first author. I will bullet point that. Reference list bullet point that. You can number. No. You never number. You put in the first author surnames of first author. The book in the book article in the book. I don't know. In that case, we have used the first author surname and list the reference. Right. Now, what's the difference between a bibliographic and bibliographic reference list? What's the bibliography and reference list? Somewhere data article here, bibliography. Somewhere reference list. Bibliography and reference list are I told you that index reference means within the text, shorter, and then you put your reference, right? So the rule is, whatever the reference you put in the text should be there in the list. Text again, list again, list again, text again. Yeah. Text again, list again. List again, text again. So we call it one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence means what? If you have in the text, it has to be in the list. If it is a list, it has to be in the text. That's a reference list. But in a bibliography, you will not call that a reference list. You will call it a bibliography. In a bibliography, whatever you read can be listed. It needs not to be in the text. Text again at the list. You don't need to have that in the text. That's what we call a bibliography. For you, for your proposal, what we require, a reference list or a bibliography? A reference list, not a bibliography. But I just told you the difference between a reference list and a bibliography, right? Right, good. Now see the rules. The reference list should be single spaced. I told you usually what's the spacing? Paragraph spacing here. What's the paragraph spacing? Times New Roman 12 font. Paragraph spacing 1.5. But if it is long quoted text more than 30 words, it's a 2. Like line spacing, which I told you the more. But the reference list should be the spacing is how much? Here, 1. So that's what it says. The reference list should be single spaced with 1 line space between references and no indentation. You don't indent anything. Indentation. I show you. And italics are preferred for book titles and journals and videos. I show you examples. Capitalization is be done properly for the name. Let's see. Example. Let's see an example. Maybe. Reference list. Do you need to put bullet points? Bullet points are no. Have I numbered it? No. You never do that. And it also says, okay. And the first author surname. So the basic starts here whether what's important is the first author surname. Anderson is first in the alphabet, isn't it? Then after that, Hofstede. Then Davis. That's the order. then east, terrace, storeroom, westward, like that. Okay. Now sometimes, let's take this example. Let's say Jones had written a book. Jones had written a book in 1979. Right? Jones book आपको exas करते हैं इतना. अब एक illustration है किधर होगा? एक illustration है जरूरत है. अच्छा ये वाला तो कर. Let's say Jones 1979 out of me. Then speak. Good. Have read that book. Smith take keyword 2009. And Jones more than X leads to that. What? Here, Jones on the year. 1930. Then Smith wrote that, read that, and wrote X is associated with what? And he tells Jones 1979. Is it correct? Perfect. Now this what happened. Now it's you. You are writing your proposal. Now what are you proposing? Okay. Proposal. Is it wrong to write your proposal? You have to write your proposal. But you read Smith. You read what Smith has written. Jones के बोलता वाला रुपये ना नहीं. Jones के बोलते हैं हुआ करना नहीं. Jones book is not available. First thing you have to find out where is Jones and read the original book. But let's say Jones 1979 book is not there. No. What you want to Smith 2009. Now my question is, you are writing X as a relationship. Then you can be understand relationship people. And we are going to say now like this. What? Jones 1972. Is this correct? Absolutely wrong. You cannot enter something that you are not read. You read whom? Whose whom? Whose article? So if you write like this is wrong. That's complete. Can you put that in your reference list? Come. You can put in your reference list Jones only, but if you have read Jones, then you can put it in two ways. I don't know, put it like Jones. You're going to tell the original author's name, 1979, cited in Smith 2009. And you are going to put in your reference list only Smith 2009. cited in Smith 2000. Or you can put in the as a reference. So if you want to put it as a reference. Right. Jones, comma, cited in Smith 2000. That's fine. And in your reference list, you have to put only Smith 2009. Jones given and understood? So, you are doing wrong. Sometimes some students, even some PhD students, they put some very, very rare books in their reference list. Then that they have read it. I tell you, okay, read that next time. I also would like to read that book. Then they look at me and say, it was in another article, that's what I have to claim. I told them, you have done a mistake. You have to include only that article what you have, not the original one. Right. So in this case, you can say, okay, Jones cited in Smith 2009. Okay. This is wrong. You can say Jones cited in 2009. This is how to say. And put only Jones, only Smith, cited in Smith. Cited in Smith 2009. That's how I do it. And put only your reference is what? Jones or Smith. This is called secondary source reference. Yes, we have learned a lot in reference. But again, I don't think we have done secondary reference in that method. Okay. Right. Right. So that's secondary reference. And now comes the interesting part. Okay, now comes the interesting part. Okay. How to refer a book? Book. Single author. Single author, I'm going to teach you both in the reference list how to put that as well as in the text how to use it. In text as well as in this reference, I will teach. Now take for an example, a book, a single author. You can say Anderson has written a book and you read it and you took some information from that. Then you can say Anderson 2001. That's called what? Author prominent or information prominent? First one. Then this is what? You put the information first and put Anderson next. That's what? Information, which we learned in the model. So that's how you could do in text. Then end this reference. Look at here, very carefully look at here. You will say Anderson, comma. Anderson, comma, after the surname. And now in text, I am putting Anderson NC. Anderson or Kalinda name surname. In text at the surname. Right. Then after that, you put the year publication. That's all in text. Then in this reference, you say Anderson, comma, NC. NC is what? The initials of that person. Do you put a space? You put dots? No. NC NC is written together. The monk pen or the monk equals the now look at this very carefully. And then I'm going to take one of your assignments. You are submitted as your literature review and stand up and tell me what are the issues in this reference list. Maybe it's my beyond. Then what? NC 2001. 2001 brackets is without the. You just write 2001. Then come up. Then Brave New Brain. That's the name of the book. That's why you have italicized that. And there's a second topic as well. you put a colon, and even after the colon, it is simple. Only the first word is capitalized. Book's name. But if it is Sri Lanka, Australia, likewise, it's a pronoun, then we have to capitalize. Here, there's nothing like that. Right? Brave, conquering mental illness in the era of the genome. Then Oxford University Press is the publisher, comma, publisher, and then Oxford. That's the place of publication. And there's full stop right there. Right? So, single author. Can you go and see? One of the articles. All are it is. Now, big SSNR, 2000 contemporary environment accounting issues, concepts and practice. Edition name over the Rutledge. Is that correct? What's wrong? First of all, what? Worry? That might be same. That's okay. Is there a comma? Yes, there's a comma. There's no problem. SS and R. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? SS and R should be written together. SS and R should be written together. Wait. NC written together. The next one. ඊළඟ මොකද වරදද? ඊට පස්සේ කමාවක් දාන්න. කමාවක් දානවා. දාන්නේ. That's no. 2017, that's correct. Then after that part, 2017, that's it. Come on. ආවර්තික හරි කැමති කමාවක්. කමාවක්. එනවා. Then contemporary, it italicized, but something is wrong with that. What's that? Italics color is a book again. What were contemporary accounting issues, concepts, and practice? What's wrong with it? Only the first letter of the first word should be capitalized. Only contemporary C should be capitalized. See, brave new brain. All other words are C. Italics okay, but all other words should be in. What? Then after the book's name finishes, what's there? Full stop. No. It should work. What's that? That's it. Then the publisher and the place of publication. First edition or edition, yes, we can put a comma and say first edition, and then after that comma. Who is the publisher? Rutledge. Or as they call it, Routledge. Whatever ledge. Right. That's a publisher. That's correct, but they have not mentioned what. They have mentioned what? The location of publication. It might be using, then say, comma, Rutledge, comma, U. Oxford University Press, Oxford. Oxford is the location. And then after that, full stop. So it's wrong. So I think I made my point. Then 2 to 3 orders. And mark check it out. Ampersand. 2 to 3 orders. It is late. Ettal be enough there. Ettal. Okay, ettal ke this is done. Ettal ke is where? Oh. Other one here, ettal ke all articles here that like ettal ke here. Ettal ke where? Right. Okay. Now there might be 2 people have written a book, or even up to 4 people. Even after that, you can have your 10, 20 people. I tell what to do. If it is 2 or 3 authors are not tough. What you need to do? See, in the reference list, you have to indicate all 3 authors with their initials and surnames. See, changing the comma is a comma. That's the first author's surname and initials. If this man or woman, I don't know, had 2 initials, then what then? Let's say, is it N? It should be that N. Without comma, without space. Then comma. Then leave the second guy. White K. White K. Comma D. And you can see they have used A and D. They have used what? Ampersand. Ampersand. The and mark has been used. Right? To indicate the third word. Elliot D 2007. Then comma. The rest is the same. Nursing and midwife research. Methods and application based practice. Third edition. If you want to put edition, you can say third EDN. You don't write edition. You write EDN. Now full stop for put comma. Then let's see Australia, Milwaukee, New South Wales. The place of publication. On the other hand, now let's see. Now that's a long reference. Short reference, how to do that? Short reference, you can see. Shinder, Whitehead, Elliot. Do you put any initials? No. You put the other names? No. Only the surnames of the authors. You indicate the 3 authors. 2007 written brackets. And see here very carefully, they have used A and D. Right? Index reference, it's A and D. But if you are going to put a reference within brackets, and if there are 2 or more authors, then you should never write A and D. Here's A. This is within brackets. Shinder, Whitehead, and Elliot. 2007 here and is and marked. So keep this very well in mind. If you have 2 or more authors, and if you are going to put within brackets the reference, then it should be and marked. You should never write A and D. A and D should be written outside the parentheses, like here. Yes. Shinder, Whitehead, and Elliot. A 2007 only within brackets. There's no problem. Here you can see there is no comma here, but yes and no. See now what you have written. Reference they have taken out. They have to be maintained. So is not in a here or there. Okay. Then Cameron Perot. May I believe Cameron Perot. Is it okay or wrong? Cameron Perot is it correct? Because outside brackets A in the SB. Yes, no. But the question Cameron Perot is again our mistake. Mistake is it right? Cameron go yes. He is chunky or clementine, no? Cameron that's it. Cameron is it, man. Perot is. So that's what one-to-one correspondence is not there. Take references are there. I got to take need to be. So, see, here are the references. If outside the brackets and mark, it is there. So make sure it's there. Then some of the product clear, you know. After the next one, 4 to 6. I got to that is 1 author how to do. Then 2 to 3 authors how to do it. You put all the names. 2 to 3 authors, always you put all the names. Within the index as well as in. But if you have 4 to 6 authors, then they are 4 to 6 authors it out of the day. The name. Now here if you have 4 authors, in the same reference list, you are going to include all authors' names. 4 to 6 authors like that. Reference list ke authors are going to clear. You can see Lanka, Goldberger, 30. How many authors are there? 4. You put all 4 authors names. And you see at the end is and the last one. Comma, Gibbons way of knowledge, basic. Who is the publisher? Who is the publisher? Basic. Basic. Like Lanka publishers are holding. Lanka publishers. Good agree. Salsavi. You have to publishers. These are interesting for. But if it is in text, within the text, are you going to write all the authors' names? So the authors are number paragraph. You use the first author's surname and you use the term et al. Et al, the meaning means and others. Now here for an example, Lanka et al. Lanka et al means Lanka and others. Who are the others? Lanka, Goldberger, 30. So instead of writing all the names, it will be up to 3. You write the names within the text. Another part text again article. Use et al. Up to 6. Blank et al. There's no comma here. Et al. Always there's a dot here. Et al. Dot. Then, if you're going to put that within brackets, blank et al. Dot. No comma. 1986. Comma 1986. So let's go and see our good student what has done. Within Hector, Kim Hector, Yaqub and Ki Ahmed. Then Balu within Nidal again. Within Hector again, they know. Balu the list again and within Hector again, they authors the Tunogana Vada in no. Enan Mitra happy, Hector again. Balu the young within. Sir, disappointed. Oh, can I? It's all there, we do the one of the within Nidal again. Within that. Make them again, order citation, go to citation. You know, and I thought of that. Within that. Make किसी में तरह के इतना दिन आवश्यकता है मतलब इन्हें वो तो ऊपर में क्यों चलेंगे की? तो these are named errors. You have put certain names that are really not in the reference. Reference list के लिए नहीं text के लिए नहीं text के लिए reference list के लिए. That's for what? One to one. Okay. Etta zero. Now count etta zero का दांत ये list के ऊपर. Etta use करना पूरा हाथल का वाला etta problem. Video photos ना किया. ये वो first की थी आप लोगों और orientation के लिए का फिर नहीं को बंद नहीं. ये orientation से कोई नहीं. अरे first की है. मेरे को ना second की को पता नहीं लगा. तो ऐसा कुछ चलता है reference होने में. कि वो तो लोगों ने अच्छा ये दान ये मौजूद है तो मतलब ये गुड है so I don't right okay so no more keyword वाला नहीं कोई टूल लगा के एक्सेल बंद करने वाला था आवश्यक है since you don't have that much of time right okay हमारा टेला है ना ओवर एक्सपोर्ट ऐसे भी को पता है direct master target master actually both the direct and calculation gets together right they wrote but the both is not there one is those see now central bank published the central bank report who is those Dr. Wilson is Dr. Wilson in the water Donald central bank report created Dr. Nandalal Virendu. Huh? I find the Mr. Arjun Mahin. He had a very prominent, well esteemed chartered accountant. Who was once of our president as well at this institute. Mr. Aditya Kabra, I will put his name. He put Central Bank of Sweden. Right? Then all the all the internal publish and maybe you are referring back. Annual reports. Annual reports on the nothing. Accountant के नाम है, MD के नाम है, आपको ना the authors का किया नाम है listed. The author is the institution. The author is SAB or the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, or it might be Ampad Bank or whatever the listed companies. So likewise, you can see here, yes, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Australia, that's the author's name, the institution's name, or Central Bank of Sri Lanka, there is no comma, nothing. 2004, others are the same. ASB standards, right? For 2005, column equals to IFRS as August 2004. Here's an application. So this is where there's a corporate author. Now, if you are referring annual reports, if you are referring to Central Bank of Sri Lanka, then you have to use this particular way of reference. No authors like person with the data. Who is the author? Under the authorship, they should have known it's the institute. Now, if you go to Central Bank of Sri Lanka, they never say who wrote that. It says Central Bank of Sri Lanka published, as well as the author. Also, if it is in-text citation, you will say Institute of Chartered Accountants of Australia. Sri Lanka, okay, 2004. Author's name is not there. There's an institution. Then we have e-books, isn't it? E-books of friends. That's over there on the e-book. My favorite is e-books. How to show an e-book? Some books are published only online. E-book or might be the online version as well as the printed version might be there. I also have given you a textbook. What's the name of the textbook? For instance, I have given a textbook too. Don't ask unnecessary questions at least at the end of the day. End of the series of lectures. What is the textbook's name? Who is the author? Who is the author? How good director? No, sir, Mr. Karen is unfortunate. No, he's how many people? No, I think so. Both Alan Bryan who wrote the textbook, but social research method or H or EDA to write in your reference. Likewise, those are text e-books. See how an e-book is given. The all other things are the same. Right? Okay. Now, these are e-book. Story AB 2004, Functional Metabolism, Regulation and Adaptation. John Wiley and Sons, right? New Jersey is the location, Hoboken, New Jersey. And it comes, now usually the book will have ended, if it is a normal book, you should have put full stop. But now since it's an e-book, you are going to say when you viewed that. Online, when you viewed that. Here you say, comma, viewed 4 April 2009 through this online text. But you have to tell when did you view that book? Online e-book you can reference that article that's the complicated. Here no power say article you have to tell. Online articles. I'll show you how to do an article. These are our books. Right? And on the other hand, take a database URL. Give the full URL http colon and give the www likewise give the URL. URL is what? URL is what? What's the URL? The marketing of that month is URL but dissect URL. What's the URL? Uniform result locate. The refactor at the principal line. But we have to give the full one, starting from HTTP or HTTPS. Till date. We have to give the full one. But within the text, in text, there is no difference. Now let's come to journal articles, printed versions. Then the mind, what is inside correct? You will have to trades in later. Most of the reference is reference certificate The one tail article target here. Okay. Now look at very carefully how a journal article should be cited properly in the reference list as well as within the text site. Let's see how to do. Very carefully look at it. Names, no issue. It's very similar to books names. Book के लिए author के name हमारा है. Young, T 2004. Then in a journal there could be different articles. In the same journal there could be different articles. Right? Different articles should be there. Now let me take the journal that I am reading at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Srilanka to give you an example. Right. So let's go to Google. CA Journal of Practice. Enter. Make a voice. Make a photo. Finding content. Integrate.
Other side.
Other things. Better. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, sir. So I think in the keyboard there is the binocular sign.
No.
No, in the key on the keyboard.
The keyboard, there's tab.
No, there in the right hand side corner, sir. Below the backspace.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, it was there. Really appreciate that. That's good. Okay, let's go to this journal. So this is the CSV number journal. And thank you very much for that student who really helped us. So you can see this journal. CA Journal of Apprentices is the name of the journal. Then in this journal, there are several articles that are published. Issues of corporate governance practices in Sri Lanka, perspectives of professionals. One of my very good students at SAP as well as myself is there. Likewise, there are several articles. What I'm trying to tell is, in the same journal, there are different articles. And also, this journal is published every year. So the name of the journal doesn't differ, but the articles change. Right? You understand what's there? Right. Likewise, and the journal will have a volume number. So this was the first volume. And if there are within a year, if the journal is published several times, some journals get a lot of good articles, then they will publish several articles during the same year. Then there will be volume 1 and several issues. Volume 1, issue 1. Volume 1, issue 2. Maybe every part and there might be an issue. So likewise, this is how a volume works. how a journal works. With that knowledge, now let's go and look at this. You can see here, using the intent to conduct a literature search, that's the name of the article, right? Title of the article in the journal of what? Nursing Standard. The name of the journal is what? Nursing Journal එක නම තමයි Nursing Standard. ඒක එක්තරා article එකක් තමයි මොකද? Title of the article is using the internet to conduct literature search, and the name of the article, title of the article should be within single quotes, double quotes, single quotes. And you can see after this there's a comma, Nursing Standard comma, then volume number. What's the volume number? In that case, earlier case, it was volume number 1. Volume number 90, and yes, these are very popular journal which has several issues per year. So it's issue number 6, the 6th issue during 1 year. And the page, the reference is given for the particular article. Using the internet method, it's from page number 45 to 51. Since there are several pages, you say PP. Earlier it was only P because it was only one page that you refer. Can you remember when you quoted text? I said P dot and the page number. Now it's PP dot because there are 45 to 51. There are several pages. Good. Short references, there's no any change. Lanka 2004, you give a page reference in case if you are giving quoted text. If not, you don't need to give the page number. Okay, now let's go and see. Let's disappoint myself. Now take this one. Tavi. What's wrong with Tavi? What's wrong with that? The Tavi is your question. You can leave me another. Yeah, okay. Right. You can see Tavi, DK, is that correct? Tavi, comma is correct, but DK, what's wrong with it? No doubt, it should be written together. DK should have been written together. DK. Then, comma. 2021, after that what? After that? Full stop. No. After that, the come on. Then, does the impact of IFRS on audit fees differ between early late and late adapters? Is that correct? අපි එක එක දරුවෝ රැන්ඩම්ලි අඩගාන ඉස්සරහට ගෙනල්ලා කිව්වේ. ඒක වැරදිද නැද්ද? නැත්නම් නිවැරදිද කියන්නේ අර බෝඩ් එක. නැත්නම් ඒක කරේ නැත්නම් සුසු කියලා වෙන්න කරනවා. මොකද මේ දවස්වල පොඩ ප්‍රශ්න අතකී ඉතින් understand. Right. අන්තිම දවසේ හොස්පිටල් යවන්න තිබුණා. Right. So what's wrong with that? It should be in single quotes. Single quotes not there. Single quote. Quotation starts, quotation should end. After this, there's a comma. It's wrong. Here, question mark, it should be not. There should be a quotation mark here, a single quote one, in fact, and there should be what? Comma, not at all. Single quote come off. It doesn't mean International Journal of Account or International Journal of Accounting for Human. Is it correct? It's correct. In a journal's name, you italicize each and every word, unless it's a preposition. Then, okay, like a whole code there. අනිත් එක ඔක්කොම ටෙරිස් කරන්නත් ඕන, capitalize කරන්නත් ඕන. The book only the first word, unless it's a problem. Nursing standard. N and S both are capitalized. Both are capitalized. Then go ahead. Now, how did the river look? Volume number, issue numbers, page numbers. Volume number is there, issue number is there, page number. Is it correct? You have put the volume number, issue number, and page number. So you have got the article like that. Download can value turn internet पे anything कर सकते हैं ना email और समाचार देखने इतना हर एक article निकालने में बना you have download the article and see everything should be there नेता ये जनरल गाल नहीं ठीक है it's rubbish I want to take journal articles information from authentic source AP DC right but at least from Emerald while just Springer, those sources. There should be a volume number. There should be an issue number. There should be page. Here nothing is there. Where are we make it? So completely wrong. We put now. By and by set of researchers. He tried to publish our articles in different journals, prominent journals. A single mistake, the reference list, between abstract research. So they get 300 articles per day. There is a single comma. That's a single comma. The officer, technical officer, and you are in the final move. It's a man department. Waiting the others. Take this. Now you know the rule. Of course, then we must have page numbers. Page number දාපු එකක් තමයි. අන්න මේ තියෙන page number sir බලන්න මේ page number දාලානේ. මොකද මේකේ තියෙන වැරද්ද? මේකේ තියෙන වැරද්ද දැක්කොත් අපි කොහොම I think research කරගන්න. මොකද what's wrong? අපි ගමු අන්තිමේ විතර දැන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Then issue number එක කියලා තියෙන volume number එක කියන්නේ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කියන්නේ the convention is the issue number is written out, the volume number is first written and the issue number is written inside. Brackets in another reference style. That's called APA style. Is this correct under Harvard style? This is volume number 1, issue number 2. Is that correct? We should write volume number and issue number like this. Vol dot 1, comma, N4 dot 2. Volume number vol කියලා ලියන්න ඕන. Issue number එක NO කියලා ලියන්න ඕන. Right, you can see this is wrong. And page numbers we write like this. No, comma EP dot 243 to 252. You don't italicize. Check correct. Several mistakes. Right. Now, old answer. Don't disappoint yourself, sir. Certify it was funny that yeah, because dalane volume numbers dalatne, issue numbers dalatne, page numbers dalatne. Yeah, some of them, you know. නමුත් මෙතන බලන්න 31 කියලා කියන්නේ වොලියුම් නම්බර්. එහෙනම් vol.31. Come on. NO.1. Come on. එක page එකේ article එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා පෙන්නනවා. So that's why it's P. There is a price. Can you have a one-page article? Yes. Raises red flags. මේක මොකද කරන්නේ? මේක volume number විතරයි issue number එකක් ඇත්තේ නැහැ. Page numbers ඇත්තේ. You can see how many days are there. There. So rectify issue. You have one whole day. Come on. Tomorrow midnight. Is there? Yes. Tomorrow we have lectures. No. Lectures no point. No. Your lectures were supposed to be finished in last week, isn't it? Right. Okay. So that's about the volume number and issue numbers and how to refer an article. Let's go back. Okay. Now from an electronic source, from an electronic source, I thought then URL. The URL or tell the database. Because they know again what comes. Right, you go, you can use the DOI. The digital repository number. It is given. Almost in all cases, they give the what kind of thing. Okay, regular. The URL is regular. Right. So you can give the URL for each article. The DOI number will be given. That's a unique number given for each article for a good article. Go and see for your articles. So if it is not given, just forget it. Just finish in the page numbers. That's it. Then newspaper articles, if you have referred newspaper articles, it tells how to do that. I don't think anyone should prefer newspaper articles. I don't think anyone would have used newspaper articles. But in case if you are used, here is there, how to do a newspaper article. Electronically published newspaper articles. How to do that? Then conference papers, which I don't recommend. Finally, there's an article. Webinars, other materials, Parliament Acts. Don't think anyone would be interested in reading Parliament Acts. Maybe. Statistics, government reports, how to refer. I took only two main things. Lectures. You want to refer a lecture and also do that. But with permission I need. Not only articles, you can microprint documents, papers. You want to refer a paper. And the plan. Standards, study guides, thesis, dissertations. If you want to refer someone else's thesis or dissertation. Tutorials, lecture handouts. YouTube, web pages. We don't recommend putting web pages as references, but you can put that as text. So here you have to put all this information, including the URL. So almost the first part is the same, and yes, the other parts are also the same. But you have then when you view that, and you have put a full URL for the particular web page or web domain. That's it. I don't recommend, but again, you can. Okay, so that's how you are going to refer books and articles. And I took this 17-page document and I consumed almost 2 hours, 2.5 hours, it seems, to teach you how to do proper our reference. Which you are supposed to know that from the first page. Right? When you did your assignments, when you did your other classroom work, assignments where you required citations. You should have that. But again, no worries, at least you know it now. So apply that to your final proposal. You have whole one day that to do this. Not only that, you apply the knowledge that you have got for other areas. So I took mainly books and journal articles because most of you should have used what? Journal articles, isn't it? So apply it to your consumer. This will be a late, you can refer to the video, right? The video I have got the definition of reference up to this point. Now, what's reference? What's the importance of reference? What's the in-text reference? What's the end-text reference? When it comes to in-text reference, I told you that there are 2 types. First one is information. Then I also told you how to reflect others' ideas in your own work, in your own proposal, by quotations as well as by paraphrase. Even I showed you how to use field code. With you might have taught me. But for ethical purposes, how to use that I taught you. Then quotations, I told you that there are 2 types of quotations. What are 2 types of quotations? Short and long quotation. How to decide? Based on number of words. How to decide? But on the other hand, I also encourage you to do what? Paraphrase, because there is a 10% rule. Then after that, I came into reference. Particularly, I emphasize what? How to use the Harvard style reference. When it comes to one author, single author, 2 authors, 3 authors, and more than 4 and more authors. What? And I also told you what do you mean by et al. Et al. Et al means what? The first author and others. That's the idea. So when you pronounce et al, you don't usually pronounce it, you tell it Brown and others. That's how you have to pronounce. But if you really want to pronounce et al, then you say et al. Right? Et al. Okay. Then I told you how to refer book as well as journal articles. And with that, this is about it. I was under the impression that you need this. But when I went through your literature review of these 2 of your submissions on literature review, I was surprised to see you have almost violated all rules. But I'm going to ignore that for the literature because I did not teach that. What's my way of teaching? What I test is what I teach is what I test. So I did not teach you. But I did not teach that. So I'm going to apply that to your literature review. Of course, I'm going to reduce any marks for your literature review that you have already submitted. But for your proposal tomorrow, you need to do it properly. At least take an attempt to do it properly. We have one more day to that because more than that. Very good. But it good luck with it. That was nice. For many of you, I think you are enjoying your time in stock towns. Is it? Those for the time, enjoy it. Someone treat me and enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. Stock towns, the houses, the daddy, unless it's some kind of item that needs to be maybe like 2,000. That's also good. Usually it's wet, dust, wet. So you must stop counts and going enjoying your life. So I do very well understand, but again, don't worry, I don't require 100% compliance with all these rules and regulations. I know that it's not possible. Takes time, but at least try your best effort to comply with this. But academic writing. Okay. Okay. Any questions? You should have studied this, and it's a must. I think someone taught you academic writing, right? Maybe your first year, second year under business communication. But don't worry, at least we know it now, isn't it? And don't worry, I'm not going to close secretary because they are academic writing. The idea is more importantly, but remember, following these guidelines is very, very important. At least we know that there are guidelines of this stage. Right. Any questions? Okay, with that, then we will finish this chapter on academic writing. I took some time because I saw so many mistakes in academic writing. That's all. Okay. Right. Now we shall go into today's real topic. Right. Today's real topic is qualitative research. So you can go to the LMS. It's lesson 10, qualitative research. Please download it and open it. Okay, shall we have a small break? Break because we have finished and we are going to start a major section. 10 minutes break. Okay, by 11:15, please be back. Right. We'll have more break and we'll start with qualitative research. And we'll go up to 12:30 and get a small lunch break and we'll proceed. And today I'm going to also explain your paper structure for DBH. What's that for DBH? Digital business. And also the paper structure for this subject. So let me quickly finish this particular area of qualitative research. Right. Qualitative research. So we covered the research part as well as the quantitative research part in great depth. Qualitative research, there are certain areas that I need to cover. We'll go through that very quickly and after that we'll discuss about the papers. Right. We'll take a lunch break as well. So let's take a 10-minute break and please come back very quick. Right. Don't spend more than 11:15. Just have a quick break and come. But it's a check. Okay, the company, I would say, the cake are made, corporate card we cancel it. Again. Yes, but. Well, recorded. Okay, thank you for coming on time. A brief war break will be just finished and whatever. Right. I think you should remember we understood that there are different types of research. First of all, we discussed that there are two paradigms of research. What are the two paradigms that we discussed? Paradigms. Research paradigm. These are schools of thought. I call them these are even like religions. Some researchers believe in the religions. What are the two religions? There are even more than two, but again, mainly two. What are those? I'll tell one. Positivism. What other? Very good. I'm getting the answer. What's the other? Negativism. What's the other? You get the answer correct. What's it? Positivism. Don't tell us. You get the answer correct. What's the other? Interpretivism. That's what she was saying. Interpretivism. Positivism and interpretivism. Two research paradigms. So these are the two research paradigms. So what's the difference between these two? What's the difference? Let me give you the chance. Sir, you might go to Mr. Kari's mental and you can tell, look at Rajgars. He is a manifestation of Hitler. He doesn't give us any chance to speak in the class. He is monopolizing the real estate at the front of the class. He is not allowing us to do presentations. So, since I'm not going to have that acquisition at least at the end, I'm going to give you the chance to do a small research, take your smart devices, whatever smart devices that you have, just check what's the difference between positivism and of course use ChatGPT, there's no problem. But tell me what's the difference. Positivism and interpretivism. Takes 5 minutes. And just tell me what you feel, that's all. Because these questions now, after this, I'm going to discuss the papers. Of course, maybe after lunch, of course. And then best time to discuss papers. I think what they do, there's no problem on the theory. First, you use ChatGPT or maybe on the website or anything and tell me. Or even look at my notes that I gave you earlier. The difference between positivism and interpretation. What's the difference? Positivism and interpretation. There are several differences, but there is 4 differences. Whose, in fact, I told you the ontological and epistemological difference, but you don't need to go that much. Just tell me what you mean by what are the differences. And let me take you to what I taught in the first 7 lectures itself. If you go to lesson number 2, it's there. Lesson 2 updated. It's a design. In fact, there. So let me ask some students. Any volunteers? No volunteers. We'll ask row by row. Positivism and yes, realities. In what we discussed, there is only one reality. What's that? Article reality is interpretation, right? And in knowing that, whether there's a reality or not, in positivism, what approach to use? So-called scientific approach to use. And the researcher and the research become the same thing. In positivism. In positivism, researcher executed, become penwater. If a researcher put on penwater. In positivism. Whether the researcher becomes a part of the research. Positivism. Yes or no? You know, we get in the answer from that side. So I'm asking this, sir. In positivism, does the researcher become a part of the research? Yeah. In positivism, the researcher and the research are 2 different things. In interpretation, the researcher becomes part of the research. I gave you even an example. What's that example? Professor understanding of Wallace, legal research. In that research, Professor understanding of Wallace became a part of that research by disguising himself as a legal. So he became part of this. So that's what we call interpretation. Today you will know that here he is the approach called ethnography. Ethnography is when you become you go to a session group and you stay there and you observe what then. If you are going to see what brothers are doing, I'll go and I'll observe them what they're doing. I want to see how underworld criminals work. I'll be part of their gang and see what they're doing. Very dangerous thing. Because if they ask to kill a innocent person, I have to be there. And sometimes I might also see how much money these people are getting, and I might be carrying paradise. Therefore, ethnography is good for research on. Not be an undercover agent and work for certain authorities. Right. Okay. So yes, under research design, I already discussed this. Yeah. positivism and interpretation. In the second lecture itself, I discussed this. As she very correctly taught, one objective reality is observed in where? In positivism. Multiple realities are observed in interpretation. Then, so that's about nature of reality, which is ontology. Then epistemology is nature of knowledge. They are basically the know and the known, the researcher and the research is two different things. Here, under interpretation, it becomes the same thing. Oh, the researcher interacts with the research. As Professor Lanka said, he became his correct inside and he was playing the role. So that's the basic difference. But that's the research, this is paradigms. Then we came on the research approaches. First the paradigm comes, then I was telling you the research approaches come. First the paradigms. You discuss, you define what's the paradigm. So we have two main paradigms. There are several other paradigms as well under this, but there are main two paradigms, positivism and interpretation. Then comes the two research approaches. That's below research paradigms. Research paradigms are religions that we follow. How many religions? We have four mainstream religions in this world, isn't it? Right. Likewise, we have two main paradigms for research. What's that? What's that? Positivism and interpretation. The question comes, can we mix these? Can we mix positivism and interpretation together? Yeah, okay. So let's take an example of religions. Right. Now, can we mix religions? Let's say, for an example, Christianity and Buddhism, or Islam and Buddhism, can we mix it? And found the new religion? Yeah, okay. Why? Fundamentals are different. The basic assumptions are different. Now, let me take that example. In Christianity or in Islam, they believe in how many gods? One god. In Christianity, they call the Superboy as God. Islam, they call it as. But in Buddhism, how many gods are there? These two gods. Uncountable number of gods. So can we mix these? Basic assumptions are different. So how can we mix them? Paradigms cannot be mixed. But can we mix methods? That's the question. Methods could be. So I could see, I already told you this. For 2 years back, I was looking at a procession, a Catholic procession that was taking place in Colombo for one of their saints. Nice Catholic procession was there. And they are taking a different and passages and over there. For Buddhist symbols are there in that procession. If I have for Buddhist symbols, it was very fascinating, very nice. So what they have done? They have mixed the methods. But did they mix the paradigms? Did they believe that they also might have believed the same time the Lord, or maybe some other super being? But they were using certain, but they were mixing certain methods for facilities. Methods could be mixed, not a paradigm. Methods could be mixed. Now we have a research context. Now, in the same research, can you use a structured question to get data? And in the meantime, can you also perform certain interviews, which is qualitative basically? In qualitative research, you perform interviews to get data. You don't get numbers, you get words. In qualitative, can you do that? Yes. In the same research together. That's what I'm saying. You can mix the approaches, but not the paradigm. So there are two approaches. What are the two approaches? Quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative and qualitative. Now, what's the difference between quantitative and qualitative? Now, then we will look at the That's an easy question. Balance between difficult, that's why I do. But what's the difference between quantitative and qualitative? So I'm going to ask from the front, and there are several differences. So I'm going to ask each of you. Tell me a different one that was not told by the earlier person. Just check that. So at least I have 10, more than 10 students here. Tell me what's the difference between quantitative and qualitative research, which I already talked to, but again I'm going to remind you. And what's called inductive and what's called deductive. And the difference there's some difference between the inductive and deductive, but again, we will not go into that much for this. What are they? So I'm going to ask each person and you tell, because I'm asking this because I already told you. Okay, enough time now. Check. Okay, we start with the front. Just look at what's the difference between quantitative and qualitative.
Need expressed in terms of numbers, maybe graphs and tables. We might use a few number of words, but in qualitative research, it's basically expressed in words.
Very good. In quantitative research, you are very correct. That's the main difference. That's why the name quantitative was comes. You use quantities, numbers. But in qualitative research, you don't use numbers, you use sentiments, words, pictures, those kind of things. That's a major difference. Very good. How about you? Yeah, we'll rephrase it like this. Thank you. Right. You can say in quantitative research, you ask what type of fish? What is the relationship between X and Y? What is the impact of X on Y? What type of fish? In quantitative. In qualitative research, you ask why and how type of fish. Why things happen? How things happen? How to overcome how? That's not quantitative, that's qualitative. So likewise, the type of question is different that you ask. The research question is different you ask in quantitative and qualitative. In quantitative, you ask what type of questions. In qualitative, you ask how and why type of question. Good. Thank you. Okay, that's it for now. What's another difference that was not already told? What are the So he's telling about statistics usage. In what would you use statistics? In quantitative. In quantitative research, you use statistics. In qualitative research, can you use statistics? You can't use your using words. For words, you can use statistics. For numbers, you can use statistics. Good. At least I think that was clear. Very good. So numeric, she covered already quantitative and non-quantitative, but she has another point there, subjective versus objective. What research is subjective? Qualitative. Qualitative, subjective. Because why? How you interpret it means that you interpret the data as you want. In qualitative, that's what you do. You interpret the world as you want. But in quantitative research, it's said to be objective. Because they will only in quantitative. No multiple realities. They will be in one reality. So it's objective as they think. Scientists are quantitative. So they are qualitative scientists as well. But mainly quantitative. Subjective versus objective. What's objective? Quantitative research. Because you do a statistical test and you say that it's confirmed or not. So for an example, if I have blood sugar, for an example, how can I know whether I have blood sugar? Would the doctor see my face and say, "Oh, blood sugar, you know, I don't eat that." How can they have what do they have? Can you look at the face and say, no, you do an objective test of that. The blood test. You will do a fasting blood sugar test, SBS. And if the SBS is over 110 or 120, yes. Then if it is over 120, you will be told that you are in diabetes. Or you are pre-diabetic. So you are in sugar. It's objective. But the subjective person look at different different things. It is subjective development, but it is the subjectivity in qualitative. Very good. That's a very nice claim. In big research, we use a large sum. Quantitative or qualitative? Quantitative. Quantitative. So that's why we do a quantitative analysis. What's the large sample size? You show that in your statistics, Commissioner do that for you. What's the large sample size? 30 or so. So for me, it's 100 or so. There are more than 100 as observations through research. Again, about the statistical large sample size. But for qualitative research, it can be even 5 people, 10 people. You can interview and you can take the data from 5 people. Yes, the sample size. In quantitative research is very high. In qualitative research is quite low.
Quantitative research we are using quantitative research and quantitative research we are using open data.
Very good. There's another difference. The way of you collect data is also different. In quantitative research, you use structured question. That's what you was telling in other words. I told you by my own mouth that when it comes to closed-ended questions, there are how many types? Closed-ended questions in quantitative research, you usually ask closed-ended questions. How many types are there? 3 types. What are 3 types? Multiple choice, interpretation, and scale intensity questions. What are those? You will refer your notes. But in a qualitative research, you do what? You do qualitative interviews. Okay. Right. That's what you get the task. Okay. So then, so in which research it's inductive and in research is deductive. One research is the inductive, and second one the deductive. Inductive research means what? Inductive research, you try to create a data. Deductive research means you try to test the thing. In which research approach do you try to create it? Qualitative. Qualitative is where you try to create that thing. But you try to test the theory part. In quantitative research, why it didn't happen? In which research do you have a hypothesis? For quantitative research, we have a hypothesis. In qualitative research, you have a hypothesis. No, we have propositions. You do proposals. That's why you don't test that. Do statistical analysis. Yes, you explore ideas. That's what you don't. That's what I was telling. Why and how type of questions are addressing one? Those ideas. What is the relationship? What is the level of awareness? What is the relationship between two variables? This one. What is it? Exactly. Tables and graphs in what? Quantitative research. Qualitative research is not presented in that manner. It's a perfect. Good. This is. Good. Here, statistical analysis. Statistical analysis, technical analysis, statistical analysis. So we discussed almost all statistical analysis in this class, like what? Correlation, descriptive statistics, correlation, regression, t-test, and what else? And if we tested at the exam, you have to have an exam, right? I'm pretty sure, of course, after the new. Is it? Okay, so good luck with that. That's it. So after this, I just after then that break for lunch, and after that we discuss. There is experiments that we do. Quantitative researchers, scientists are the quantitative. They perform experiments. They perform surveys, collected surveys that are quantitative oriented. But qualitative researchers, they don't experiment. They observe things as it is. They don't intervene. They don't manipulate things. They just go and they observe. For example, he became he discussed it when he was training, but he did not manipulate training. So did he go and make the people poor and ask them, okay, how they did? No, he did not do any intervention. He just started training. I'm pretty sure he had considered he has been a market. So making research. So that's what it says, that you do something. I don't say speaking is the best thing to do, but again, if you do something to your best of their ability, you give you something. But not maybe, but other. Anything that you was a here. Structured questionnaires, particularly structured instead of structured folders, but qualitative, sorry, unstructured research. Unstructured, open-ended, unstructured or semi-structured. Yes, qualitative, it's detail. You can go in detail as an advantage in qualitative. Because why? You can interview, you can go depth. Quantitative, no. You can go in depth, question and other things, you can take a number of data, and you can do it. So yes, the depth that you can go in quantitative research is lower. In qualitative research, you can go in depth, more depth, particularly in case study. I think two are the 5 types of qualitative research designs after this. If you are trying to understand the context, very correct. In quantitative research, what here you are trying to see, you are going to measure things and you are seeing the relationship. There are the main ideas in qualitative research is to understand something.
Quantitative research is used in the field like
Yeah, very good.
quantitative social spaces in the social science.
Yes, that's correct. A very nice, again, a distinction. Quantitative research, you are using naturalism, like chemistry, physics, medicine. But qualitative research is mainly used in humanities. Now, Process uncertain, start and uncertain of the power is from last second. Last but not least,
data collection,
excellent. That means survey, experiments, structured methods, data collection, qualitative, it's not structured. So excellent. We had, in fact, in this slide, it's there. The differences are there. Deductive, inductive, right? And quantitative, you study a known phenomena, you test whether it's there or not. In qualitative, you explore some new thing. You test a theory. In quantitative, you develop a theory. In qualitative, likewise, all the differences. Then large number. Someone told about the number of samples. Yes, in quantitative it's large. In qualitative it's small. Then of course numerical. So that's what she started with: numbers versus text, audio, video. Statistical analysis. He was doing what statistical, or he was doing that statistical analysis versus non-statistical analysis. Like those, medium, excellent answers. So this is what we studied earlier. Now today let's extend our knowledge a little bit more. What do you know now? So you are correct. Quantitative research is what you are trying to do is investigate in which the researcher attempts to understand some larger reality by isolating the measuring component. Measuring component, particularly underline this term. You try to measure components in quantitative research. Is it? Right. Measuring component. And you are trying to understand the larger reality. Use quantitative, collect a lot of data and try to understand what happens in general. In qualitative, you are taking a single case and you are trying to understand it. Now, for example, now if you want to see a successful conglomerate in Sri Lanka, one of the most successful conglomerates in Sri Lanka is what? What is that? JKH. So if you want to know what really causes their success, and you go there and do an in-depth case study, if you take one organization, we call that case study. If you go and do an in-depth case study, that falls under what? What did you do for it? Yeah, you are trying to understand only one organization, not the larger reality, but one organization. But in quantitative, no, you are going to take a large sample, a huge sample that's representative, and try to understand the larger reality. Right? And you don't regard the contextual setting. You don't need the contextual. You don't. Let's say, for an example, if I want to know what audit trail is feel about audit trail, right? I can give a questionnaire to a structured questionnaire to see their satisfaction level. I can measure that. I don't care their context. What I context is their sentiment towards audit trail. Right. Then qualitative research. Surely it's about what? To understand specific questions. Using interviews particularly as its method. It's its method. Okay, here we go. So this is what I showed you earlier. This is what I showed you earlier. Ontology as well as epistemology, positivism as well as post-positivism. Then as we understood, qualitative research is what's our topic today, mainly. Reality is independent of human undertaking. This is quantitative research indeed. The reality is differentiated. There's only one reality, and it can be separately observed and measured. Quantitative research believes that things could be measured objectively. They believe that things like satisfaction can be measured. Can you measure satisfaction? Can you measure love? Can you measure hatred? Cannot. Quantitative research believe they can. How? How can we measure satisfaction? In a Likert scale. Quantify Likert scale. I could ask you, how satisfied are you with S-stable or F-stable? 1, highly satisfied. 5, highly satisfied. So in a 1 to 5 Likert scale, I can give an approval. I can give that question at you and take the average number. The mean value. So that's how quantitative research feel. They think that everything could be measured. But in case actually trying to measure those things, big question. So the goal of research is to define and measure the variables. So you are going to see the variables and measure that in quantitative research. Right? So most accurate way to measure variables is using any solution. So you are trying to do that. But that creates a big question. But on the other hand, the qualitative research is completely different. They believe that reality is multiple, the reality is subjective. There's no one objective way. There's no one objective. That's what they do. Reality is what we create. So drinking alcohol from over 18 years old. Is it wrong? Srilanka would say, no problem. In moderation, you can drink. But if you go to Saudi Arabia, you don't allow. If you drink alcohol, you will be lashed. Same thing interpreted in different ways. Multiple ways. In different societies, we actually multiple ways. I wouldn't say whether it is correct or wrong, but I'm saying the same thing can be interpreted in different ways. In certain countries, giving bribes to authorities. Is it okay? In certain other countries, if you do that, that's the end of the story. Likewise, same phenomena could be looked at in different ways. So that's what we call multiple realities. So human understanding, interpretations define the reality. We define what's reality. Humans define what's reality, society to society. Right? That's what we do. Complex reality can be understood only as an amalgam and not as simply as a fixed part. We can break the complex reality into variables, separate variables, and measure them. Reality is a one unit. It's very complex. How can you measure reality? Qualitative researchers claim, and they challenge quantitative research. Reality is so complex, how can we measure it as variables? It can be only understood as a whole. That's what qualitative researchers do. Goal of the research is to examine complex phenomena and understand it. Someone told that. The main idea of qualitative research is to understand. To understand something. Right? To go in depth and understand certain things. Now, for example, why take it without success? That's what I'm saying. To understand. So that's qualitative research. You very well understood what's now qualitative research. Almost all you gave excellent answer. So now can you combine these two, quantitative and qualitative together? You can. You can. Not the paradigms, but the process. Well, the same research. Can't you perform a structured questionnaire as well as afterwards do a qualitative interview? You can. But certain people argue against. Those are called purists. Mixing methodologies. Purists. Purists again. Purists. Purists. Who is purist? Purists believe these things cannot be mixed. It has to be pure. You cannot mix quantitative and qualitative. I disagree. What I believe is this. Yes, you can. Paradigms you can't. Paradigms you cannot mix.